The tragic final hours of Archie Eversole. He was killed by his own brother, supposedly. Now, I don't know who he is. Lots of y'all get mad when I don't know who people is, but I just don't know who he is. But we're going to find out who he is in this video. But it's pretty fucked up that he got killed by his own brother. Shout out to the Dose of Mystery. Subscribe to their content because they make good content. We finna get into it.
City.
I mean, people that know me, you know, they know we ready. 16 years old, came in the game.
Which is hard to believe, by the way. You know the song over the years. It's transformed into a rallying cry for Atlanta sports fans. Well, now people are mourning the loss of its creator, rapper Archie Eversole, his own brother.
This is a bond hearing that was set by a file by your defense attorney for one count of malice murder, 22W005045.
Krause faced a judge in DeKalb County today. He's accused of his own brother.
What the fuck will make someone kill their own brother? Like what? Like I got to hear more about this shit.
Rapper Archie Eversole last month.
There has been a loss of life, and there's nothing that I can say or do that will bring back Mr. Eversole.
Lived together. According to prosecutors, Krause broke into Eversole's room the evening of March 25th and shit.
Damn, that shit fucked up, man.
April 3rd, 2022. The music industry was about to suffer a loss that would weigh on the emotions of hearts everywhere. The 37-year-old rap artist by the name of Archie Eversole built up a name for himself with the highly successful song, We Ready, which was released in 2002 under Geffen Records. The song became the...
That's why I don't know about his ass. I was literally born in 2002, so shit, I probably heard the song before. If it's that old, if my peoples and shit listen to it. So I probably heard of him and just don't know what the song is called. Well, probably heard the song and didn't know that he made the song.
Anthem for Atlanta United Soccer Club, along with NFL teams and fans in the city and beyond.
Well, he made
Voices
that song.
could be heard chanting at games and avenues the catchy, energetic lyrics to the song, like it was part of every culture's native tongue.
Oh, he made that song? Oh, shit. Yeah, I heard that shit before. A whole bunch of times.
The song was a single on his debut album titled Ride With Me, Dirty South Style. As a teenager, Eversole was already carving his name as an artist with the potential to leave an impactful legacy in the music industry. His popularity brought him ever more opportunities. Being enlisted by the Atlanta United Soccer Club to create a new anthem specifically for them titled United We Conquer. He showed great promise, and no matter the ups and downs in the music industry, his name always brought a certain energy when it came to his ability to bring crowds together. Sadly, he wouldn't be able to live a full life doing what he loved because tragedy struck from the most unlikely of places. On March 25th, 2002, Archie Eversole was asleep in his townhouse home on the 4500 block of Gulf Vista Circle, where he was awakened by a loud sound in his room. Eversole was shot, bleeding from his face. He stumbled and managed to make it out to the street, where he walked to a nearby Chevron gas station on the 4400 block of Snapfingerwood Drive at around 7:30 a.m. Bleeding profusely from his wound, the police were alerted by staff at the gas station. They arrived to find Eversole with a bullet wound to his jaw and requested EMS to come to the scene. In speaking with Eversole, who was losing a hefty amount of blood at this time, he was able to tell them what had happened to an extent. Court details state that Eversole told officers he was asleep when someone shot him in the jaw. He didn't state who the shooter was, or even if he knew, but he did let officers know that the shooter was still there at the building. The clock was ticking, both to apprehend the suspect and to save Eversole's life. Going in and out of consciousness, he was rushed to the hospital. While his life was trying to be saved, Officers went to the location of the house to investigate and search for possible suspects. There, they would locate the sole occupant that was at the building, Archie Eversole's brother, 41-year-old Alexander Cross. His brother also lives with Eversole. So now it was up to authorities to determine if he was the suspect they were looking for, or if the suspect had already fled. Investigating the surroundings, it was noticed that there were no signs of forced entry at the entrance. However, there was a trail of blood from the gas station right back to the residence. Analyzing Cross, it was noticed that blood was on his socks and shoes. But observing his movements closer, it was noted he was walking with a limp. When questioned about it, Cross blamed it on blisters present on his feet.
He didn't have any weapons on him, but he had blood on his sock and his shoe. And they noticed that he was limping. And when asked why he was limping, he said it was because he had blisters on his feet.
Officers began searching the room and discovered more blood leading down Eversole's room. Here, they found something different than at the entrance. His room door was tampered with, and the surroundings showed signs of struggle. Blood was splattered in numerous places, which they saw as evidence corroborating their theory. Authorities started becoming suspicious of Cross when a firearm was found at the base of Eversole's bed with one spent shell. In searching his brother's room, however, live rounds that matched the bullets of the gun were found. Not only that, but analyzing both rooms, in contrast, his room was neat and undamaged as compared to Eversole's. Alexander Cross was arrested and brought to the station.
Why the fuck would he do that to his brother, though? Like, he's a fucked up motherfucker, bro. And then your brother is the breadwinner, too. He motherfucker changing y'all life and shit. Like, really, you a grown-ass man. He shouldn't even be having you living with him, to be honest with you. And you do some shit like that.
But that was in relation to a felony dope charge after they found the substance in his room.
They went into, it's like a two-story residence. They observed a blood trail coming down the steps. Inside the defendant's room, they found 1.5 ounces of marijuana, which is the basis of the felony marijuana arrest. And went in the defendant's bedroom.
He was the only suspect at the time on the police's radar, as no one else was found at the scene. Archie Eversole, still in critical condition, was having the fight of his life. The blood loss from the wound deteriorated his body and vitals to the point where recovery was too far gone, and he passed away about a week later on April 3rd. The news would take a shocking turn when police learned a couple of days later the person charged with this hit was his own brother. Mourning poured online for the senseless attack that stole a talented individual. From sports greats to the Atlanta Unified Club that held him highly, condolences and heartfelt sentiments were ushered due to his passing. The passing of Eversole increased the severity of Cross's arrest. Previously placed on a $5,000 bond for the dope charge, his bond was now revoked by the judge, as he was labeled a danger to the community.
His ass need to stay in jail. His ass got to stay in jail, because if you killing your own brother, bro, you can't be trusted, bro. You a snake. Like, you can't be around nobody, bro. We don't know what the fuck you got going on, gang.
The additional hit charge placed on his record. His attorney argued for the case to be dismissed, as his client was being wrongly accused. The angle used for his reasoning was that his brother, Archie Eversole, never listed him as the person who shot him. If he was the one responsible, then the question posed was, wouldn't he have said so instead of just stating that the shooter?
Maybe he was just the motherfucker that be like, man, he don't want his brother to go to jail. He probably wanted to figure out what made him do that shit before he put his brother, because he knew if he told his brother going to jail for shit show. It's no doubts about it. He gonna be in jail. He probably at the end of the day be like, man, I don't want to see my brother go to jail, which is fucked up, because that nigga just shot you. Shit, I ain't gonna cap. My brother do that shit, man. Take that nigga to jail, bro. I ain't gonna cap to you, bro, because I ain't gonna want to have to kill him. Because if you're not in jail, I'm gonna kill that motherfucker.
Was still there,
that time in this unfortunate event, did the deceased who was alive mention anything about Mr. Krause, or if he did it or didn't do it?
Alexander Cross's attorney asked the judge to dismiss the case after a DeKalb County detective testified that neither the victim or anyone else identified Krause as the gunman.
Mr. Krause never said that he did this, and again, Mr. Eversole never mentioned Mr. Krause did this, correct?
Prosecutors would counter his argument by stating that no one else was within the house. Not only that, but the evidence inclusive of the live ammunition in his room that matched the weapon used all pointed to Alexander Cross being the suspect. At a court hearing, there turned out to be conflicting information on the criminal past of Cross. Apparently, prosecutors were saying that he had criminal cases under an alias, which extended his rap sheet to a lengthy resume. His attorney instead stated that the other name was his sister's, and those charges didn't belong to Cross.
Mr. Krause tells me in this situation many times where he's going to stop, and then they run a history and then realize he's not female. And then it looks like they pull up a picture because a lot of them pull up the photos, and they can see that he is not his sister Michelle. So as to his criminal history, as I stated, he has a possession of marijuana, which is over 20 years old. He did have to carry a weapon, which is about 15 years old. And outside of that, the only contact he's had with the system is that he is an alleged victim in a case involving the decedent's case, Mr. Avarice.
It was a steady back and forth, with the only other person who knows the truth now deceased. Prosecutors had to cross their I's and dot their T's to defend their case. This, however, became more difficult when the mother of the brothers spoke out publicly, condemning the actions of authorities, as she stated that her son was innocent.
No arguments. They had no feuds.
You see, of course the mom gonna think that shit, because if the brother ain't say the shit, she gonna automatically be like, no, my son ain't gonna do it. Of course she ain't gonna think her son would do that shit. She wouldn't expect that shit. But no, his ass did that shit for sure, gang. I ain't gonna care. I just feel it. I don't even know this situation for real. And I just feel buddy ass did that shit for sure.
Okay. No.
And you the mom.
And I know that. And as I said yesterday, I talked to the neighbor next door, and I just asked her, and I said, did you hear any arguments? Did you hear any fights? She said, no, I didn't hear nothing.
Not only did she speak out against the arrest, but Eversole's manager also saw things from her perspective. From his description, both told to reporters, and in court, he paints a picture of brotherly love between Eversole and Cross, calling Cross very protective and supportive of his brother. Speculation would begin to spread online that things may have not been as happy and peaceful between the brothers as the manager led on. An online post made by Eversole a month before his passing saw him calling someone out through harsh words. Automatically, many thought it was directed at his brother, Cross. But that's an opinion that couldn't be proven. Reporters later state that Alexander Cross was granted bail in August of 2022, but that would change in April 2023 when a jury indicted him on 4 charges, including malice, hit, felony hit, aggravated assault, and possession of a firearm during commission of a felony in connection to Eversole's passing. His fate now rests in the hands of the law, which will either confirm or absolve his involvement in the hit of his brother. Either direction the outcome takes, a brother, son, and beloved artist was lost. His life was cut short far too soon. To this day, his legacy lives on through his music and will continue to be an anthem to those who cherish his character and talent.
That shit was fucked up, man. Like, I still want to figure out, like, and there's really no way for us to figure out more details on this shit. But I want to know, like, what made him do that shit? Like, what happened? You feel me? Because I feel like if a nigga broke into the crib and shot his brother, right, and he wasn't the one that did it, he would have, you know, been like, yeah, this happened. He didn't say, oh, I was at this place at this time. I was this. We ain't hear none of that shit. Cause his ass did that shit, bro. I feel like buddy ass would have got shot too if someone broke in the crib. You feel me? And they didn't say, oh, he said he wasn't even at the house. He wasn't even trying to say where he was at for real, bro, because he know where the fuck he was at. If he was at the house, and motherfucking that shit happened, and he didn't do nothing, bro. Ain't called the police, ain't do none of that shit, bro. He just at the house, and it's a blood trail, and he just at the house. Come on now, let's be real. The police had to get called by the brother that got shot. He didn't even call the police. You know the motherfucker did that shit, bro. Niggas ain't slow now. But shout out Dose of Mystery for this motherfucker video. Niggas ain't slow. Niggas not slow. Tell them how it is and what it ain't. Niggas is not slow. Not slow. Oh. All right, we're going to end this video right here because I got to get onto some other shit. Shout out to this. I got 3 videos on top of that. All right, bet. Yeah, I'll be smooth.